So if you're thinking boner is a hard-on, get over it. It's not. It's a mistake. This whole book was a mistake, but it was Boner Publications that did it. It was Boner Appetit that made it, and it was this gorgeous redhead on the back that could sell it. Yes. I still look great. I just had a little work done on my face. I'm going to tell you a story, a wonderful story about a little lady who came up with an incredible idea with a couple of friends and who ended up making a little book called Safe Sex Never Tasted So Good, aka Mrs. Boner from Boca, Boner Publications, and a great big boner appetit to all of you. In 1989, I was having dinner at a friend's home with my beloved late husband and two other people. We played a game called Let's Name Your Dirtiest, Naughtiest, Most Horrible Word that starts with the letter A. We also polished off 2 bottles of wine and a joint at that time. So needless to say, it started very well. So if you think of your naughty word with an A, well, we know what comes to mind. Don't be naive. B is simple. Breasts we can say and not get fined for. C, that is definitely a no-no. Except in my cookbook. D, E, F. So by the time you're so drunk and stoned that you're peeing on the floor, you can't make it to the bathroom, you're crying so hysterically, my light bulb goes off and we start talking about food. And name your naughtiest foods that start with A and B and C. Well, again, that light bulb went off in my head and I said, I'm going to write a cookbook that has the most unusually naughty, sexy, outrageous words, innuendo, but great recipes, but I'm going to give you names to recipes that you've never seen before. So, Fondled Breast of Chicken came out, and Taste My Kumquats came out, and Pound Me Cake came out, and Throw Me Down and forget it, D9 on that page, fudge, and I had Fetish Fettuccine and Blue Balls and Hooters and Knockers. We had the most marvelous evening, and I went home, went in my room, and pulled out as many recipes as I could, and went to as many XXX stores as I could, and went to as many places where all I saw was food. And for me, food became naughty words. It wouldn't matter, was that a Wendy's or a McDonald's or a steakhouse. All I kept seeing was naughty, provocative, sexy words fitting with my recipes. So I went in my room and I had a typewriter at that point. I typed this thing all up. Next thing you know, my next door neighbor, a nice Catholic lady, had never typed a naughty book like this. And there's some recipes in this book that they're good, but the words will get to you. So I said, Bunny, I need you to type this up. She said, I can't. I said, Bunny, you and Vinny can do it. I type. I don't know how to use a computer. This is in 1989, going in 1990. Then I said to the printer who was printing all the Jeffrey stuff, I need you to publish this. They didn't know how to publish a book. Then the logo. Oh, and he's got several wonderful cousins throughout this beautiful baby book. But I found out this man in Atlanta who was doing some logos for this cruise line. I called him up and I said, I'm Susan Mintz from Boca. I got this great gimmick for this cookbook. I said, this is what I want. I want a bodybuilding. I said, I want a bodybuilding chicken, big torso, skinny legs, packed really good where it needs to be packed, muscles, and all this. Within a week, I had all the logos. The publisher was publishing, the printer was printing, the cook was 9 months later, I gave birth to one of the greatest books you'll ever want to read. And then I wrote 2 more of them, which I didn't publish, but they could go along with this effortlessly, except they're not quite as naughty. There's some words in there that are more toned down, because my agent at the time said, tone it down a tad, you'll get into more audiences. Well, between 1990 and 1992 were the happiest days of my life. I was selling books, I was making money, and I had become my own person. I was Susan Lee Mintz. I was Mrs. Boner from Boca. Everybody knew Mrs. Boner on the TV stations, the radio stations. Wherever I went down in Meisner Park, where Liberty's bookstore was, Aren't you that lady who wrote that book? Well, yes, I was. You want one? And I'd go to my trunk of my car, and for $10 they could buy it. I sold them everywhere to everyone. We had mail orders coming in from Australia. I had orders coming in from Canada, from New Jersey. There were nurses buying 80 at a time for Christmas gifts. I sold 30,000 books by myself in 2 years. Typed it myself. Had somebody type it up on their computer who never did it, had a publisher or printer who never published, had a logo man I never met, and I had a lawyer who took 2 years to make sure we weren't trespassing on anybody. Then I got the copyright for it, so don't anybody try to mess with it except if you want to buy it. Oh God, I want to sell it. Please, you'll make billions. I was so ahead of my time. I was so ahead. I'll keep my name on it, keep everything, but there's 2 more, and I really want to sell the rights to it. I really do, but you will laugh, you'll have fun. It's the most incredible cookbook because you'll really feel passion. You'll feel the love for food. You'll feel the love for life, and you'll just know Mrs. Boner was not a joke. Mrs. Boner was real, but in 1992, my blessed husband took ill with AIDS, and Mrs. Boner had to change her hat because her husband came first, and the business kind of just had to slow down, because he needed me more than I needed to do this. So I stayed true to it till he passed, and then I truly had to take Mrs. Boner's hat off and wait for the right day for her to come back, because it is great for many people. Today, it would sell like nobody else's business. It would be the best cookbook on the planet, if not for nothing but a novelty for fun. And 9 out of 10 people might pass it by, not want it. The 10th one would buy 10. And that was my spiel. 9 people could walk by me and I couldn't care. You looked at the word sex and went, oh no, we can't talk about it. And then I'd look at the 2 kids with you and go, well, obviously you've had it with somebody because you got 2 kids to show for it. So don't play naive with me, you're not a nun. So other than that, it was just great. And now I'm where I am doing what I'm doing, and I'm promoting my other books, which is about my life committed to love with my husband, my 25-year marriage to this wonderful man who died from AIDS, and my hospice book. And this one just sits yet on a little shelf waiting for the right person to come along and want it. But that's the story, how it started, how it ended up, and for those 2 years I was the happiest in my life because I'd found something that gave me joy, true joy. When I was Mrs. Boner, there wasn't a care in the world. Nothing mattered. I was this flamboyant, crazy lady who could say what she wanted, do what she wanted, and just have a great time with food. So again, I want to thank you all for being a participant in my YouTube channel, and I wish you all a very big, huge Boner appetit. Susan Lee Mintz, signing off now.